question. Need a new tripod. What's up, guys? I get a lot of questions about my apprenticeship. That's one of the sort of main kind of questions I get. How long it took, who I did it with, that kind of thing. I've touched on some of it in the past, but today I would like to jump to the end and talk about how I finished my apprenticeship. So I started building in 2004, but I didn't start my apprenticeship until like 2005, sort of middle of 2005. By the time I was done with my apprenticeship, I'd been with that company for 5 years. And there was one job that made me quit. I got some leftover sheets of jib here from a job I never charged a customer for. It's gonna take it back for a credit, but I kind of want to make that wall look lighter. I don't know the measurement. Let me get the measurement. So the job that made me quit, most of the work I did with that company was here in Auckland. A lot of, high rises and malls and schools, things like that. But every now and then we get sent further afield. This particular job was up north in a place called Kaikoui. It was an extension that we were doing. An extension of an existing building. So it's like over a 3-hour drive. It's quite far up. So our boss was kind enough to fly us up there and rent a house. Now Kaikoui and the Bay of Islands in general, that area is beautiful, but the job we were working on was a prison. I mean, it was literally a prison. We were extending a prison that had prisoners in it. Guys, better look, you can kind of see me clearer now. Anyway, we worked in a prison. I was a qualified builder at this point. I was feeling pretty confident. When I look back, I didn't really know anything. I'd learned a lot, but I still had a long way to go. So we're working in this prison, we were staying up there. The boss rented this place in Kerikeri, and 10 of us would pile into the van in the morning and drive to prison. When you get to prison, there's like a depot, and it's this giant garage door, and at the other end there's another garage door, and you basically go in with all your gear, you shut the garage door, and then you're sort of locked in this sort of area that's kind of works like airport security. You get patted down, they count every tool you have, your nail punch, every screw that's in your nail bag is accounted for, and then you get let in. And because that process is so long, it's difficult to get let out. So we'd do 12-hour days inside prison and not leave, and that got tedious, man. Day in, day out. I mean, it wasn't all bad. The work was interesting. There was a lot of concrete work, a lot of foundations. The area is kind of like a swamp, so we had to account for that. But it was all concrete and steel. I remember one morning actually, one of the days that I was cutting the reinforcing steel to go on a footing, I had my grinder and I was sitting there, cutting the steel and measuring it, cutting it, and this prisoner is right behind me, sort of leaning on a cage like this, looking down at me, watching me work, so I see him, I know he's there, and I'm just like, hey bro. They tell you not to talk to them, so I tried not to talk to them, cutting away, and I finished using it, and then I'm just sitting there looking at my job. He looks at me and goes, pass us up that grinder, bro, and I'll break us out of here. Another time, someone that I was working with got an apple thrown at them. You'd see basketballs get thrown in, from the outside of prison as well. And apparently they were stuffed with drugs. I don't know. But it was a unique experience. We'd be up there for 2 weeks at a time in a house filled with guys that you work with. But it was good. I mean, Bay of Islands was fun. We went fishing, and it wasn't all bad. But I was sort of my patience was wearing thin. I sort of, one of the weekends that I went back to Auckland, I finally decided, nah, I need to move on from this company and do my own thing. And that's what I did. So I think the biggest lesson I learned from that was that you have to know the difference between being angry at your job and being ready to move on. Maybe your pay's rubbish, maybe your boss is annoying, maybe you've been doing the same thing for too long. I think the question to ask yourself is, what can I do to change this situation? Is there somewhere else I can go that maybe offers more opportunity? Or am I ready to take on more responsibility inside the company that I'm already in? You don't necessarily have to leave a company. So I was ready for that next step, and I went to another company after that, and straight away, because I was a qualified builder, the guy treated me like one and said, "Oh, sweet, you're qualified, mate. You can look after this 2-story house extension." And I was terrified, but I jumped in the deep end and it worked out. So if I hadn't quit, maybe I wouldn't have done that. Anyway, whole reason we're here today. So the whole reason I'm here today isn't just to put this crazy wall on. We're doing big things here at Scott Brown Carpentry. This cedar is going to be part of a letterbox that I'm going to build. So here we go. This is the letterbox right here. Old, decrepit, and in need of an update. Big contract. You got to make sure you got all your overheads in mind. Make sure you got enough materials. These things can sink a business, jobs like this, so you got to take it seriously. So, you know, if I didn't take on that, if I didn't make that move, I don't think I would have built up the confidence needed to take on a letterbox contract like this as well, you see. So it's funny how all these things come together. Anyway, I'm probably going to end the episode here. If you guys want to tune in and see some exciting work on this letterbox, make sure you're subscribed and tune in tomorrow, because I'll be doing all that. Alright.